Well, hey, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. So excited to be here with everybody. Wednesday, February 6th, 2019. It's been such an exciting beginning of the year. Can't wait to share, my presentation. We're just coming back from the WealthWave convention, and we just had a wonderful time. So I wanted to share a little bit about, what went on there for the ones that weren't able to make it. So let me go ahead and grab my presentation. And I went with the On Fire theme colors. I hope you all like it. Oh my, it says January 6th. I am very behind. It's February 6th, so I'm going to make sure that I fix that. I do apologize. Should have double-checked it one more time. It really does feel like it's the beginning of just something amazing. So I think that's why I messed up a little bit. But it's been a really great beginning of the year. It was really wonderful to see the people who were in Vegas, and for the people that weren't able to make it, we're definitely going to see you next year. Here are some of the awards that me and Mike received. Thanks to all of you. This actually does not include David Chase's awards. He's got his own separately. So it was a really, really exciting time. The whole event was very, very well put together. Here's a few pictures. You could see Andy Horner. He's the one that actually does like all of the WealthWave tech stuff. He's the one that's put together all the videos and everything. Here's him kind of introducing the WealthWave event. And some of the cool like pictures and things that I grabbed. You could see like the rule of 72, the power of compounding. You could see like a cool little override speedboat. There was just tons of inspirational and accomplished speakers. People that are here in the company with us, as well as people that are outside the industry. Very, very powerful. Of course, I didn't get pictures of, even some of them, just grabbed a few. And there was so much great training. I was kind of sitting in the back so you could kind of see. These are pictures from my phone that I was taking through the presentation. Some really, really interesting facts as they were talking about the different generations, and that they rolled out with different videos, not just for millennials, but for Gen X and for baby boomers. So a lot of really exciting stuff, and they were really talking about, the different generations, and you could see, how 58% of teens say that parents are their best friends, that now fathers spent 6.5 hours a week on household work and childcare. It's just so exciting how the world is changing. 50% of babies born in 2007 are supposed to live to be 104. I mean, it's just things are just really crazy. There was lots of fun events. Here's some pictures from the invitation-only luncheon, but there was, ton of cool stuff, gala events, all kinds of events where you could, rub shoulders with the people that are making it happen, really kind of pick people's brains, get to know some of the leaders. There's a big award ceremony. Me and Mike were fortunate to get a bunch of awards, but if you look at some of these pictures, top 5, top 15, top 10, I mean, we're just getting started. Some of these people have been in this company 20 years, 10 years, 15 years, and we're just blowing them out of the water. If you see, like, our name is being called behind it, EVC, EVC, EVC. I mean, we won some big, big awards, and we're just getting started. There's a new book coming out. They discussed, How Money Works by Tom Matthews and Steve Siebold. Really exciting stuff. And they were talking about how 2018 was a huge year. You could see how much money was paid out to the field. And you could kind of see the chart over here from the last 3 years, how revenue and cash paid to the field has really exploded, how many more clients we've taken on, how many new associates came into the business. And I thought this was very interesting. In 2018, 93% of our business was paperless. Really, really affects us being virtual. Extremely exciting stuff happening. But 2019 is going to be huge. I mean, they are talking about $1 million action plan just in overrides. So really, really exciting stuff. They kind of broke, if you want to hit $1 million, how much you need to do every month, how much you need to do every week, how much you need to do every pay cycle to get it. So I like that mentality. I like how they broke it down. And if you all want to come and experience WealthWave, you don't have to wait until next year. They actually do a green carpet day every single month. They used to call it a red carpet day, like a VIP red carpet day, but because their theme is green, they recently changed it to the VIP green carpet day. And you could see the next two events, February 21st and March 21st. If you ever have, a big leader or somebody or one of you that wants to come in and meet some of the leaders, you can go to their WealthWave headquarters. They do a big event once a month. And, of course, this yearly event once a year. So if you weren't there, we will look forward to seeing you at the next event. And that's really everything I have. Just wanted to share a little bit about, the trip and how much we got out of it. So without further ado, let me go ahead and grab Mike. I know David wanted to say a few words. David, if you wanted to star 6, you can star 6 right now. Otherwise, if you prefer to speak after Mike.
Thanks, Alana. Thank you.
Sure. Go right ahead.
Hey, everybody. I know there's not a lot of people on here, and I know most of you weren't at this convention. Man, I don't know if you heard me last night in my 2-minute speech, but I really have nothing to say except OMG. I was really blown away by all this. And we, as a little team, there's maybe 100 of us there compared to 1,100 people from WealthWave. And look at the awards we took. All of us. Mike and Alana, Chris, and even new people came into the company in October and September, and they're winning awards. I guess it's a matter of just hard work, but I will tell you this window is getting narrower, everybody. Who's on this call? If I were you and me, I'm stepping it up even twice as much. I am so committed to this thing right now. I can't stop. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop finding new ways to reach to people. I can't stop finding ways to bring people into the top of the funnel. There's all these new things we're coming out with. Mike and I and Alana had a long time to talk about things together, and we're going to put some exciting new things together. And we talked about a bunch of things to help you drive people to your website, drive people to the top of the circle, and to bring people into this company. I know when I came into this company, I thought I was going to be sitting here all day and writing business. I didn't really realize I was building a business. There's a big distinct difference here, everybody. When you talk to people, everybody's got the production mentality, especially agents all over. What's your book of business? What is your contract level? This has nothing to do with any of that. You are building your own business for the future of you and your family to do things that other people won't be able to do in a couple years. We are at the brink of something incredibly special. So all I can tell you, I felt the passion. Part of my speech last night was passion. And of course, I believe in passion so much, and sometimes I get in the way of people when I'm passionate, and you all think that it's me being rude or something, but it's not. I'm just a passionate person. And when I see what we have, and I know where we're going, I'm telling you all who's on this call, you better join in because this is an opportunity of a lifetime. I'm approaching my 65th birthday in May. I've never, ever, and I keep saying this, I've never seen quite an opportunity like this in my entire business life. That's over 40 years. So those who are on this thing, we can make something special. Looks like there's 16 people here. 16 people can make this into thousands of people. We can. I wish you a great week. I absolutely thank Mike and Alana for all the information, all the time I spent with them. And all that they do for all of us is an incredible thing. Thank you again. Michael, take it away. I appreciate the opportunity to speak.
Thank you so much, David. David is really blowing up. He actually doubled the amount of awards that he received from last year to this year as well. So we just, we're family. So great to see him and catch up. And he's absolutely right. Things are just really, really happening. Let me go ahead and grab Mike. I can't wait to see his presentation. Bear with me just for 1 second.
All right, you guys, hope everybody's doing well. I always get messages every week about the timing of this meeting. Guys, there's full-timers meetings, there's consultants meetings, there's Tuesday, Saturday meetings. This was really the only way I could fit our team meeting into a week and make it feasible with all the other meetings that go along. So with that being said, I realize some people are at work, some people have other things to do. There's always the recordings that are emailed out. There's the recordings that are posted in the Facebook group. And there are the meetings, recordings of the meetings that are posted on the YouTube channel. So you always have ways to access these meetings. And if you are a manager running the team, Make sure that your new partners as well as your old partners know where to access these. We try to get into information during these meetings that will help you build your business. The reason that we're looking at the lobby today instead of a specific lounge, boardroom, or any of those other club rooms is because they're doing some back-end work. So it's all I have access to right now. Let's get into some things that will help you guys. So one of the first things that you have to understand is that digital disruption is a real thing. It's not our job to prove it. It's already been proven that it's disrupted other industries, other sectors. So when you are talking to people, they don't believe in digital disruption, don't understand it, don't see the magnitude of the opportunities that come along with disrupting an industry this big, not a big deal. It's not your job to convince, rebuttal, explain. If we were a gold mining operation, these people would be the biggest boulders that fall off first. Don't waste your time. Move on. There's nothing wrong with just wishing them the best of luck going forward and moving on. This is not a sales mentality opportunity where you are convincing people or rebuttaling people until they just give up. That's the exact opposite approach that you're looking for. You're just inviting people to take a look at what our company's doing to this industry, allowing those videos to get the information out, and getting some feedback from them on what they thought, what they learned off those videos. We're just applying that blueprint to a very large industry. That creates massive opportunity. I see it. You guys see it. You wouldn't be here if you didn't see it. So understand that most people out there, you know, whether you offer this or that or anything, most people are going to be inclined to say no. So 90% of the people that you talk to aren't interested, don't understand, whatever the reason is. The rest of that 10%, you're going to whittle that down to solid business partners that, and you don't need that many. You need a handful that, like you, understand this opportunity, have a track record of success in their history, have a good work ethic, and want to make something happen. You know, once again, we're not trying to prove that digital disruption is a real force. I mean, you can see starting in the mid-90s up to the present time and what's been happening or what's going to happen over the next few years, it's invading all aspects of our life. So this is the point in history right now where if companies do not have a digital plan in the next 36 to 48 months, they will probably be looking at an obsolete business model. And I know that's a very compressed time frame. For a lot of people, that's hard to wrap your head around, but it's happening. And the speed is picking up. The magnitude of the changes are getting greater and bigger. And like I said, over the next 36 to 48 months, if you do not have a digital plan, you are in a lot of trouble. Now, when we're out there, you know, you have to realize that when you're in a traditional business model, you don't see what's going on in companies like us. You just think that, you know, it's the normal run of the course of the action of everyday business. So don't take things personally and don't argue with people. The masses are always wrong. You can go back 10 years, 20 years, 100 years, 300 years, and see that the masses are always wrong and the contrarians prove right. Most people don't have the vision to see things before it's too late. You should, you know, pat yourself on the back. If you have the vision to understand what this is and the opportunity, you're ahead of a lot of the mentality of people that you're going to speak with out there. And this, when the digital disruption or the disruption finally hits, this is what it feels like. Model. It feels like just a massive storm that came across, you know, on a moment's notice. They don't know the blood, sweat, tears that went behind the scenes in companies like us and other companies that create that day. So when you're out there, disruptive innovation, when you're talking about this, when you're talking about changing business models, it can feel like you're in the twilight zone. When everybody's zigging and you're zagging, it can feel like you're on a desert island. Just know you are correct. They're wrong. You will be proved right if you give yourself a chance to let your efforts compound over a period of time. And then remember, there is nothing ever gained by arguing with fools. Nothing can be gained by reasoning with ignorant people. Now, I'm not saying that people that don't understand digital disruption are ignorant, but it's called herd mentality. Population, nearly everyone. So when you look at that, you're looking for a select few. Remember, Doug Jones once talked about in the company meeting, if you're going to go to war, you want to go to war with a few hundred people that have no idea, haven't been trained, don't know anything about combat skills, or you want to go to war with just a handful of Navy SEALs. You're looking for a team that can get this done. Your infrastructure is laid out for you. Only thing you have to provide is the human element and the human talent to this to let this really explode. Remember, you've got a situation, and once again, this has been proved in other industries, where the traditional industry, money leaves that and it starts to flow to the digital model. And when that happens, a disruptor changes the environment or the space so it is never, ever, ever the same again. Remember that. If you look at other industries and look at the last 20 years, retail is one that sticks out, far and above and beyond everything else. But if you look at the late 90s, you look at articles, online retail will never have really much of an effect against traditional retail. It might be a small little minute percentage of the entire industry or sector, but it's never going to be a formidable challenger to the traditional players. Obviously, that was proved very wrong. It'll happen in other industries, including this one, and we're on the forefront of a major disruption here. I mean, look at this. In 1998, Bezos set up his online bookstore. I sell books. 2017, I sell whatever the blank I want. Disruption is real. We are in a very, very, very large industry. So understand, this is not going to happen overnight, but understand, you are also not one of the trailblazers. If you're coming into this company right now, everything is laid out. We've trailblazed it. We made the mistakes. Just follow our lead, and you will find success here. And if you do this correct, a lot of success. So remember, back in the early days of the .com, remember when Netscape introduced the browser to the world, it essentially allowed us a framework to go out and explore the internet like never before. Well, that issued in the .com, era, and out of that .com era, there was a bubble, and it burst. And there was a lot of people or a lot of companies during that bubble that we realized the business model was just not sustainable. There was nothing there. So what we had to do in the early days of tech in the .com, it was impossible to evaluate a company on this, as far as the stock price based on normal metrics like revenue and profit. So those companies were evaluated on traffic to the site. Now remember, traffic to the site does not equate to revenue and income like we saw, but that's how you have to judge a company in the early days. It was a revolutionary period of time here, really changed the way that we look at companies. When you want to look at your virtual financial business, you want to look at it the same way. Traffic to your assets, your marketing assets, your profiles, and recruits, solid recruits, not just numbers, real business partners in the business is all you need to worry about. The rest will take care of itself. This is a multi-trillion-dollar industry, billion-dollar platform. I'm not worried about, the sustainability of what we're doing. You don't have to question that. What you do have to question is, what do I concentrate on right now? It's just traffic to your marketing assets, traffic to your landing pages, traffic to your website, and solid business partners coming in. The rest will take care of itself. And that is your tier one. Your tier one is your traffic. So like some, internet companies, websites, they track different metrics. Tier one is the metric that you want to track. And that's really the key to your business. The tier one, of course, is the contact, the confirm, the ABC, and the commit. You get good at doing those, the partners will come in. There is nothing when I came into this business that the guy that brought me in could have said to me. He wasn't very good at what he did in the beginning. I told him just to slow down, take your time. I'm interested in the business model. So if somebody's really interested in what you have to offer, you're not going to be able to do anything or say anything from your side that's going to trip that up. So quit thinking like you're going to mess this up. If somebody's interested and they see this, they're going to work with you and walk through this. And then also, you have seasoned entrepreneurs and leaders in here that have been doing this for quite a period of time that you get to lean on in the beginning for a great amount of help until you feel comfortable doing this. And that's it. Tier one contact, tier one confirm in the beginning. That's all you have to do. And make sure people know you're in business. Introduce the business opportunity, the products. Confirm that they've watched the videos, either on business products. And then if it's a business opportunity and they have interest in what we're doing, we will help you with that tier one ABC interview until you feel comfortable doing that. The more people that you can introduce this business to, the more videos you get out, the more confirmation of those videos, that does the heavy lifting. From that point, you've got one of two results or outcomes. You're going to dump the lead because they don't understand what we're doing, they have no interest, can't get a license, sound half dead, whatever the variable reason is, from their side or our side, or you're going to send them over for an interview that can lead to partner, client, or neither. Simplicity, guys, one of the things that I struggle with sometimes and I have to catch myself on sometimes is just overloading the other side with information. And this is something I've worked on over the past months, and I think that I've gotten a good grip on how to conduct an interview conversation. And really that comes from, asking questions, closing your mouth and listening. The best ABC calls are not sales or company pitches. We're not trying to sell anybody something or pitch anybody something. We're having an open, honest conversation where each party gets to evaluate the other side to see if this is a good fit from both sides. Major part, like I said, is asking questions and listening. You need information from the other side. We've got a list of the stuff that we need to gather from the other side. You can get that information one of two ways: overloading them from your side, or just asking simple questions, being quiet, and letting them talk about themselves. You show interest in other people by letting them talk. And when you let them talk, it shows that you're interested in them as a person. Remember, you're the brand on the front side. VF is the brand on the back side. People like to talk about themselves. They're going to divulge the information that you need. Give them a chance. If you get off a call and realize that 80, 90% of the conversation came from your side, it was not a good call, you guys. So learn how to show interest in other people, ask questions, be quiet, and take notes, because what they're going to be telling you is the information you need. So what you're doing on their side is writing down notes and getting the responses from your side ready so you guys can come down and funnel this conversation to an endpoint. Don't just have a conversation that leads absolutely nowhere. Have it funnel down to an endpoint. The On Fire convention, it was our second convention this year. We went to the first one last year. Lana went through a lot of slides and pictures. Not going to go through too much of that. We have not really, from our standpoint, pushed you guys to make a convention, and we're still not going to push you guys in the future. But I would encourage you guys starting next year to try to make it out to these conventions, because you're going to get an idea of what the traditional model does, even with high production videos, high quality videos out there. They're still doing business the old ways. You're going to get a visual depiction of what disruption looks like. You're going to get to know some of your teammates, some of your leaders, and really see from people who've been in the business for 20 years what they've accomplished and what you have to accomplish in a very compressed time frame. Once again, Alana mentioned this. We don't have David's medals up here. David did very well. I think he doubled up from last year. But, if you want a visual depiction of what disruption looks like, we started last year and we brought home 3 awards. This year, we absolutely crushed it. We crushed it in categories I didn't expect to crush it in, and it just further fuels my confidence and my vision for this company of where it's going. We haven't been doing this for very long, but we've accomplished a lot in a small period of time. And if you give this the time that it needs to mature and grow, you're going to be, you have the possibility to be an industry leader, not your company, not your base shop, not your super base shop, but you yourself. And remember, guys, we have a point multiplier going on for the first quarter, Q1 of 2019. So make sure you take into consideration if you're working on SVP promotions, if you're working on base shop bonuses, whatever you're working on, just make sure that you understand January is over. That was a nice month, 1.8 on the point multiplier. February and March, you still get some type of a multiplier. We're right here. Everything this month is multiplied by 1.35. So it's an opportunity to get your 2019 off to a solid start. Take advantage of that. It cuts down the requirements for a lot of these things that you guys are working on and further fuels the points for bonuses if you're already to a bonus structure. Also, remember, when you're looking for people, who are you looking for? Just like we always talk about, when you start dating early in life, you may get out of a relationship, and you still might not know who you're really looking for, but you definitely know who you want to avoid going forward. This relationship failed because this person's crazy, or this person, or this or that. So who are you looking for? And once you define who you're looking for as a business partner, it becomes a lot easier to find those people. And that brings up the next block. Where will I find them? The business partners that have come in that have shown to be a profile that fits into what we think can be a success here, where will I find them? Well, as you start to look for them, you're going to start to identify key places where they hang out, what they do, and how to approach those, whether it be platforms, online, whether it be marketing campaigns, whatever it might be. Where will I find them? And then finally, what is my message to them? So who am I looking for? Where am I going to find them? And what's my message to them? If you can master these three things in terms of your mentality and your mindset, it becomes a lot easier to build this business. And remember, I brought this up. If you're new and you've never seen it, I can get it over to you. This is something I created. Now, this is not something that you just take and accept. This is something that you want to look at as a template and design your own. You know, if you're a different age group, different generation, different sex, whatever it might be than me, you're going to have a different type of partner persona that you're possibly looking for. But you want to know what kind of a background do they have? What type of identifiers are you looking for? Do they have goals? What's their challenges in life? What's the demographics that you're looking for? How do they spend their time? And then what's their interest? When you identify who you're looking for, like we always talk about, it becomes a lot easier to find that person. So come up with a partner persona. Just like if you were looking for the perfect mate, what are you looking for in that mate? What are you looking for in a partner? And that goes back to the last slide. Once you know, it becomes easier to identify who they are, where they are, and the message that you want to relay out to them. And realistically, it just comes down to two things: understanding my market and my message. That's it. Once you nail those things, you're going to find it a lot easier to sift through the numbers and actually spend time talking with the people that deserve it, not spending time talking with anybody who will talk to you. Remember, we want to work smart, not work hard. This is something that if you've been around for a while, you've seen it plenty of times. This came from what I always tell you guys to do. It's activity and education is the 1-2 combination punch for this business. This came off a YouTube video where I was trying to learn how to become a better recruiter, better headhunter, how to find better talent. And this is really the pyramid or the triangle of mastery of how you really build a business in this type of environment. You know, in order to get all of the mastery of this pyramid, it's going to take a little effort. You've got to build some rapport. You know, you've got to, in a very quick, compressed time frame, build some rapport, which is going to lead to you being someone that they know, like, and trust. That trust, that credibility allows you to start getting information from them. They're going to open up to you. And from that information, you're going to be able to find either a problem or a goal or a desire, something they're either wanting to avoid or work for or work towards. And then that's going to allow you to come in with a solution. And that solution takes you to the last step. Well, in order to get that solution, you've got to take an action step. What is that action step? Is it a product? Is it a business opportunity? What exactly is it? I can tell you that you will never have the action step, you know, without the solution. You never get the solution without the problem. They're never going to give you the problem without getting the information from them. And that leads to the bottom two. So these bottom two right here, trust and credibility and rapport, these are the main two things that will allow you to open up conversations and get people to gravitate towards you and open up. I'm actively working on the bottom of this pyramid. Got some ideas, guys. One of the best ways that I know to get these two things accomplished very quickly is to give away something of value. I'm not talking about something that directly costs you out-of-pocket money, but something that they would want in order to, you know, a value-driven conversation. So when you give them something they're looking for of value, now all of a sudden that know, like, and trust, that credibility comes into play. So we're going to be working on this over the next few weeks, introducing some things to you guys that will help build the bottom of that pyramid and open up the top. Remember, as you're talking to people, part of your message is, you know, what are you doing? What's your plan? Are you building, if you're in this industry, a book of business that's going to pay you a little bit of residual that will gradually decline over the coming years? Or are you going to work on building an actual business, a free-flowing business that's separated from you, that you don't have to have the heavy-handed day-to-day activity to get the type of income that you're looking for? Book of business, self-employed. Business is about business ownership, cash flow asset that pays you passive income that allows you our three prongs of our mission statement for our partners: lifestyle freedom, time freedom, financial freedom. If you can wrap all this up in a package deal for somebody and they understand how to get it done and they're willing to work for it, it's an amazing opportunity. If they want to be someone who is, it's all on them, they want to go out every day, 12 hours a day, write business, meet with clients, that's fine. There's definitely a place in the industry for them. They just don't have a basic understanding of the cash flow quadrant, which is one of the main things that we look at when we understand this business opportunity. Also, you've got to understand that if you are a producer, you're talking to a producer in the industry, I can go anywhere and get a sky-high contract level. If that was the the end all to the problems in this industry, those companies with the highest contract levels would have zero turnover. They have just as much turnover as the other company or the other companies in the industry. So what do you want? You want a higher contract level? You want to make more money. Now, for some people, it's tough to wrap their head around that concept, but it's production over distribution. You can make a lot more money on the distribution side, building a business over being a personal producer. And that brings me to a couple of things that, if you guys have been around for a while, you've seen this. If you're new, these are some talking points that you want to take into consideration in your mind when you're out there talking with people that you need to make them aware of. Do you want to be X years old and still be out there doing sales? Now, some people say, I love meeting with clients. I love making sales. That's great. We're not taking away that from you, but let's flip it around. Do you want to still be out there and have to do sales? Wanting to do something and having to do something are two totally different things. So do you want to be X years old and still have to be out there selling? Most people don't, and most people don't have an exit strategy. When you talk to producers in the industry, that baffles them. What do you mean an exit strategy? That people tell me that they're just going to sell insurance so they drop dead. So how long have you been in the business? What do you have to show for it? And what's your plan? What do you want to get out? What are your goals and dreams? Are you close to achieving those? If not, the leading indicator says, that you're not going to, reach those goals. You have to take a step back sometimes and realize maybe what I've been doing, you've been doing, the general public's been doing for, a good amount of years is not exactly the best course of action. And how likely, really guys, how likely is it that you will receive my contract and compensation? Very likely if you work hard. How likely is it that you will receive Mike and Chris's, the founder of this company's contract and compensation? Very likely. How likely is it that you will receive Bill Mitchell, he's the CEO of WealthWaves, contract and compensation? Very likely. How likely is it you can go to any company right now, sit for an interview, and start talking about how to receive the CEO's contract and compensation? They're going to laugh you out of the interview room and continue laughing while you hit the doors. My contract compensation is the same as Chris and Mike's, the same as Bill Mitchell's. You guys, it is a level playing field here. This is not corporate favoritism. It's not a corporate structure where I'm worried about how quickly you're going to advance because I'm worried about my job security. We're a digital factory. We bring in raw talent, and on the backside, we create leaders, independent agency owners, senior vice presidents, and 6- and 7-figure earners. What does that mean for us and our company? Stops turnover and keeps people in talent. I'm not talking about people that come in and don't do anything and drop out. That's exactly the opposite of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who have found success in our company. They're going to stay because now they've got ownership. They're fostering their own business relationships. They're not going to leave because they're not working for anybody but themselves. They've got a real asset they want to hold on to. Once again, there are tons and tons and tons of places to go for personal production. There are a lot of different ways to earn $1 million, and it's really going to depend on how you view, once again, how to earn money, how the cash flow quadrant can either work for you or against you. But what I'm looking to do, and hopefully what you're looking to do, is put together an organization that spreads out nationwide that will pay you 6- and 7-figure income on a yearly basis without you having to go out there and bust your butt on a daily basis. Now, you are going to have to, work hard in the beginning, but it gets to an inflection point where you've got people around you that you trained, supported, you worked with, you coached and mentored them to the point they can go out and do this on their own. That's going to give you the financial freedom and the independence that you're looking for. Remember, the employee, the self-employed business investor, wherever somebody is, we're trying to take them to that business owner quadrant and then finally investor. If you build a business here with us, you've got basically little to no fixed and variable costs. So what does that mean? A lot of cash flow is coming back to you, which fuels a lot of investment. If you make revenue of 7 figures a year and you've almost got expenses of 7 figures a year, guess what? Not making much money. Here, if you make 7 figures a year, you're bringing home 7 figures a year. So base shop, still self-employed. People still need you. They've got questions. They need your help. Distribution is actually the business ownership side. No matter where you are, longer term, you always, always, always want to be eyeing the distribution. That's very, very important. Remember, $1,000 in passive income in this day and age right now in the current environment is equal to having about $2.5 to $3 million in the bank. So if you are 50 years of age, and you are working a W-2 job and you have little to no cash flow left at the end of the month, you want to retire over the next 12 to 15 years, what's more probable, that you're going to save up $2.5, $3 million in the bank, or that you can come in here if you work hard enough and build a business that spins off $100,000 in passive income? A lot of people don't have the opportunity to amass enough money in the bank to get that type of passive income. Business ownership, business opportunity, entrepreneurship is the answer for the right people. And remember, many marketing companies, including financial services, use a system that was developed by Amway in the 1950s. I mean, just think. I mean, we're not even going to go back to the 1950s. Just think about everything that's happened since the year 2000. Remember, around that time, we were all scared the computers were going to malfunction because of the new reset of the calendar. Well, I do basically nothing like I did in the year 2000 anymore. So we're not even talking about the 1950s. I'm talking about the year 2000. We will dominate this industry with our package of assets, our infrastructure, our tools, our training, our system, our capacity, our leadership. Everything's ready to go and go in a very big way. The only point of resistance for scalability, like I always tell you guys, is talented people coming into your organization. Every company in America has the same exact problem that's looking to grow and hire. It's a talent shortage out there right now. For whatever reasons, we're not going to go into that right now, but there's a talent shortage. And so when you're out there looking for talent, realize it's not going to be everywhere, but it is available. And listen, we are taking a traditional industry that shows up at an office, makes appointments, gets in the car, and drives to people's houses. Now, once again, if you've been around for a while, you've heard this from me before. If you're new, if this was a traditional model where I show up to an office, go to people's houses, and sell insurance, there's a 0% chance I would be involved. I'm here to disrupt a multi-trillion-dollar industry and change the way these agencies are built, operate, and managed. And if you know anything about body language right here, down this bottom picture right here, you can tell this is a very uncomfortable experience for all three that are involved. The lady is just gripping onto her arm like that. She wants this guy to leave the house. It's uncomfortable. What you'll find is that when people are in their own space, you're in your own space, and you're doing collaborative screen shares, you're talking to them, each party feels more comfortable, more confident. The conversations are a lot better. People open up to you. Our model is superior, and all we're doing is taking a very large industry, erasing all of that with a digital model that allows a lot of market share and then a tidal wave of money to flow from that digital model to the digital creator, which is us, Virtual Financial. Also, we have a system. Remember, having hyper-exponential growth is one thing. Having a system to plug people into that allows them to know what to do, how to become successful, and what to do on a daily basis is a huge, huge, huge advantage. There's no secret as to why McDonald's became ultra successful. They had a system in place that allowed them to crush their competition. We feel we have the same type of system in place to do the same in our industry. Lana touched on this a little bit. I think David touched on this a little bit. Understand your generations and how to market or reach each one with targeted messages. This is important. This is probably one of the main things I took out of the convention. When the convention is released on the WealthWave TV channel, I'll let you guys know. You can go back and revisit this presentation. It's very eye-opening because I tend to market to all people the same. I need to change that because whether you have a baby boomer, whether you have somebody in Generation X or you have a millennial, we're all shaped in the way that we look at the world by the experiences that we had over a small set of years. Pre-teen to teen years is really where we start to develop our understanding of the world. So boomers, Gen X, and millennials had very different time periods they went through. Understand those generations, understand how to market to them because they're very different. You can do that, get a step ahead of your competition as well. There are the videos that WealthWave produced, and I also have them on the YouTube channel. So if you want to learn a little bit about the generations, you can go on the YouTube channel, and they look like this. So the baby boomers will look like the Social Security card. It says baby boomers, define your future. Your Generation X is the mixtape looking icon, define your future. And the millennials says right there, I'm a millennial, define your future. All of these are under 3 minutes long. They're just a little bit over 2 minutes long. I would take the time to go through, watch these, take a couple notes, understand your market. Like we said earlier, develop a message that resonates with that market and that audience, and then start to open those conversations accordingly. Now, also, what we want to talk about is the day. Every day is going to be a battle between you and the day. How many rounds can you win in a week, a month, or a year? At the end of the month, at the end of the week, at the end of the year, there's going to be a scorecard. Did you win that week? Did you win that month? Did you win that year? If you can come out on the winning side of most of the weeks, months, and years, you're going to build an incredible business. Found this picture hilarious when I was looking on Google search for a boxing match. Mitt Romney and Evander Holyfield in a charity event. Never even knew this took place. In all actuality, guys, if this was a real boxing match, Evander Holyfield would knock Mitt Romney's teeth out of his mouth. There'd be no question. But nevertheless, I thought this was funny. So you and the day are going to go toe-to-toe each and every day. Come out on the winning side. Give your best effort. And that's what systems like the 12-week year, because, you know, it's applying the system with a vision that will allow you to make goals, that will allow you to take a digital strategy, great business model like what we have, develop tactics that can improve on self-improvement and self-development from your side, effective time management that creates activity that gets you what you want. The 12-week year, to look at things that you're not doing well versus things that you're doing well. And if those things that you're doing well are not reaching your goals, it means the things that you're not doing well are actually the activities that are going to fuel the success. This is on our 12-week year. We're coming up almost to the halfway point. If you're in the 12-week year, WHAM Group's great. Very proud of you. If you're not, you can still start to develop for the next 12-week period. Read the book, start to understand what you can get out of this, apply it to your own life. Whether it be personal or business, it's really going to help you. I'm in 2 WHAM groups right now. What I've told both groups is that this coming weekend when we meet, you know, if we were meeting in February of 2022 and looking back on the last 36 months, what needs to happen in your business or your life in order for you to feel like either you're a success or that this was a successful period of time? Remember, without a vision that wakes you up in the morning, gets you out of bed, and gives you a reason to do what you do, you know, it's gonna allow you to drift. And if you drift too far, you're going to drift so far away that you're not going to be able to come back into the realm of where you need to be with your mindset and your activity to get it done. What do you want to get done? Remember, there's 2 visions in the 12-week year. There's the aspirational vision, how you want your life to look, and there's the 36-month vision. What I want you guys to concentrate on for the coming weekend, 36-month vision. Forecast out 3 years, looking back on this period of time. What do you want to happen? How does your life look? That's going to allow you to get more in tune with your vision and really set forth on some activity that's going to get you the results. And if you are doing the 12-week WHAM groups, you know, it's a very easy complement to that to participate in the activity sheets. If you're not doing the 12-week year, it helps you and helps us help you if we know what you're doing. So remember, every week, if you want to do the activity reports, they're due by 9 p.m. Eastern Sunday. We have the daily activity sheets you fill out and the activity spreadsheet for the entire week. If you submit those, we make a master Facebook group sheet, post that. I interact with you on a weekly basis. I give you a month-end recap, and then I go over and beyond. If you're going over and beyond from your side to make your business a success, I'm going to see that. I'm going over and beyond my side to help you. Keep dreaming, keep working. Remember, the vision provides that motivation that drives execution on the backside. If you don't know what you're doing, then how are you ever going to know, how to improve, how to scale your organization, how to teach other people to do the same thing? Accountability starts with you. And just to let you guys know how to fill out those sheets, it's all about direct business activity. So, for example, if you're new and the only thing that you're really doing is inviting or marketing, and you're not really doing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, any of that stuff, but you go through a week where you have a partner coming in and they go through a tier 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it might be. If I do that, Alana does that, doesn't count on our sheet, counts on your sheet. So it doesn't really matter who's actually doing the appointment. Who does the appointment directly affect? In other words, direct business activity is what you're looking for. It's not what you've done. I might do 15 tier 3s in a week. If only 2 of those were direct to me, I count 2. Hope you guys understand that. If you have any questions, let me know. The 30-day challenge we put out a few weeks ago was to try to join group every day for 30 days. Now, some of these Facebook groups are what's called spam groups, meaning you can just throw your links out there. Some of these are more structured groups where they don't allow that. You want to join a couple of the spam groups, that's fine. But you also want to join a lot of these groups that are structured, that actually offer valuable content, interaction with the other members of that group or the community. Now, I'm a little bit behind. I haven't done one a day for 30 days. I'm trying to pick out groups that I would actually want to be a part of. But as you're joining those groups, what you need to realize is that you can organize your day, and I found this to be very effective. I started using this the last few days. The light blue up here is the Facebook groups. The bottom in green is the LinkedIn groups. And all I did, I just went through my groups, and I figured out what am I a member of, exited out of some of the groups that I didn't want to be a member of anymore, and I've got it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, what groups. Now, if you look at this close, you'll see that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, same groups. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, the same groups. So when I go in and I post, now I've got a defined, concrete way that I know what to post on what days. And also, one of the things that I found that works very well for me is, yes, on LinkedIn, once you post it to your regular LinkedIn activity, you can just share it to the groups. You can pull up the groups and share it. But on the Facebook group, if you have a Facebook business page, share in that first. And then what you want to do is take that post inside your Facebook business page, and you want to share that to the other Facebook groups, because now when it's posted in there, it's going to show it's coming from your page, which can drive traffic back to your business page, build your audience. Guys, have any questions about this, let me know. And then also, when we are looking at the business, stay dedicated. It's not going to happen overnight. In this day and age, we want everything at lightning speed. We've got information, everything traveling at, these great speeds now. What we have to realize is that information flows fast these days, but results still are going to take some time. So stay dedicated, keep your head up. All days are not going to be good. Don't get caught up in any one good day or bad day. Stay even-keeled, keep your mentality and mindset level, and just know that if you do what you need to do over the coming weeks, months, and a couple of years, this will definitely take root for you. We always talk about, who we're looking for. Do you have, what does it take to be in the top 1% in your state? In order to become 1%, got to do what the other 99% won't do. The 2% mindset, fixed growth mindset, all of these things. I just put this in this presentation to let you guys know. We talked about earlier, 90% of the people off tops, no matter what you're working on or no matter what you're offering or trying to sell, they're going to say no to it. So that other 10%, now we've got to work through those people to find the all-stars, the people that are actually looking at this opportunity with, a vision that we understand that we can bring in. And then do they have the 2% mindset? Do they have the grit and the grind to want to be a 1%er in this country? Those are the people that we're looking for. It's a survivor kind of mentality in the beginning, survival of the fittest. Now, I'm not through every stage over here, and this is something that I came up with when I was making this presentation, but this is the way that I look at this business. You're going to go through a survival period, and if you talk to people in the traditional industry, they always talk about a 3-year survivor period. With where our company is right now, you can chop that way down. But remember, survival period doesn't mean like we are in the house waiting for a storm to pass over. Survival period means you're actually out there, you're working, you're having persistence, you're out there making it happen. Patience and persistence are two different things. After that survival period, you're going to hit a turning point. Probably when you think, things are never going to materialize for you, all of a sudden you start to hit that turning point. Things start to happen for you. And you hit a growth period. You start to get excited about your business. And then inevitably, no matter what business that you're going to run, you're going to hit a slight setback. And that setback's going to make you question, what's going on? Why did this happen? Guys, every business is going to go through a setback period of time. So after your growth period, something's going to happen. You're going to have some bad news. And whatever happens, that's the setback period. You get through that, and that actually leads to an extreme growth period. And then from that extreme growth period, you as a leader need to know how to make organizational development, putting people in the right places, getting them to the point where that you have enough in place that you can never look back at those other periods of time and have to worry about getting through those. And then eventually you exit the business with a cash flow asset that pays you passive income for many, many, many years to come. So, when you are looking at your business, if you're working 15 hours a week, if you're working 50 hours a week, I want you to come up with what you think that you're worth. If you're worth $25, $50, $100 an hour, or if you could go out and get a part-time job for those 15 or 20 hours a week, what would you make? And that's your virtual financial investment. So look every week, every month, every year, what's your investment? That time is the investment to this business. If that time went elsewhere, what's it worth? Add it up and come into this business with a mentality that you've got a financial investment in this. Time is an investment. It's one of the most important investments that we can make. Put it in yourself, put it in this business, but understand what the value of that is in a monetary basis. It's going to be hard work, guys. It's not out there. We're not digging ditches. We're not in a coal mine, but mentally, it's hard work. It takes you through, good days and bad days. Tell yourself you're going to do this and be emphatic about it, and it goes back to the vision. Good days, bad days, if you step away, get in tune with your vision, not just see your vision, understand your vision, but feel your vision with emotion. It's going to get you through the tough times. And really, it just comes down to one question, guys, one question only. Are you committed to a better future? And this is not necessarily just for you guys. This is for the other people that you're talking to out in the open marketplace. Are they committed to a better future? If they are, you don't have to have deep pockets to come in this business, but you do have to have a vision. You have to have a decent track record that you've been able to accomplish things in the past. You got to have some grit, grind, hustle, sacrifice, all of these things. That's the recipe of what we're looking for. But it boils down to one question. Are you committed to a better future? And if you are, you need to learn how to read differently, think differently, and partner differently, because an amazing year is nothing more than amazing days compounded. Once again, if you start an investment account, you never invest in there, how could you expect to come back there one day and have your money compounded up to a certain level? You don't have to put a pot or a top on the pot of crabs. When one gets close to the top, the others will pull it back down. People that are in your business, outside your business, that are pulling you down with negativity, remove yourself. Get rid of those other crabs. And this is another thing that we're going to be working on over the coming weeks. This is very, very important because in the beginning, you need to do whatever you can to get your business up off the ground. But eventually, you want to change that outbound marketing to inbound marketing. This is some of the stuff that I'm going to be working with you guys on, team basis, individual basis. Inbound marketing greatly helps your approach because now you're talking to people that have been introduced to your products, that have been introduced to your business opportunity, instead of you having to initiate the communication and conversation that leads them to that point. A lot of different ways we can get that done. We're going to be working on this. But if you're doing a lot of outbound marketing now, you should be proud of yourself. Not easy work, but we're also going to make that transition into inbound marketing. But that also comes, guys, with your commitment to yourself to get better at what you do, with the education that you do. If you don't know some of this stuff, of course, we're going to go through some lessons, education, and teaching. But on the side, invest a little bit of time each and every week to getting better at what you do. And then you want to ask yourself, and you want to take a look at your organization, your recent recruits, if you've been here, and you want to ask yourself a question. And be honest with yourself. Is this the best that you can really do? Because you can build an organization of people that were not the right fits. Maybe you should not have even hired them in the first place. I can tell you guys, my first number of hires in this business, I had to come across them today. They would not get 5 seconds of my time. It's not to be rude to them, just I know what I'm looking for. It's a lot easier for me to identify those people. So if your organization is not up to where it needs to be, take a look and figure out why are people not the right fit? Why did people come in and do nothing? Or why did people come in and do something? And your first, really, that CEO 10 club, I always talk about it as a learning curve. From that experience, you're going to get up off the ground. You're going to learn a lot of things. You're going to learn a lot of things about yourself, the general public, marketing, and then from that point, you should have a good understanding about how to go forward. And if you need help and support, I talked to you guys, a few have asked me this week, what's the best way? Best way is to go into your CRM, create a lead file for yourself, and then go to my calendar and block off time. And then in the notes for yourself, you want to put in what you want to cover or what you need help with. So once again, create a lead file for yourself, go into my calendar, whoever's calendar that you need help with, put the appointment on the calendar, and then put in notes so I can prep for that call so I know what to help you out with. Just fair warning, guys, if you need help and you put stuff on the calendar and you're not in the 12-week year, you're not doing the activity sheets, my first question is going to be, what have you been doing? because that's going to be a main source of me being able to help you, because if you're not doing anything, that's the answer. If you're doing stuff, then I can help you identify and correct problems pretty easily. We always want to, I promise you guys, each and every week we would go through a little bit of product knowledge. And most of the people that you talk to, when they go out there and they're thinking about financial planning, they're talking about with people, you know, advisors, planners, whoever it might be, they're talking about taxes. They're talking about debt. They're talking about inflation. They're talking about retirement savings. What's the problem with that? Well, the problem is that you're not considering healthcare and the events that may or may not happen, what that costs you in terms of lost income or what that costs you in additional expenses. We take a holistic approach to financial planning that takes into consideration all the things that can happen. We want to prepare for both the worst and the possible best that can happen down the road. One of our flagship product is Living Benefits. You want to become a Living Benefits expert. If you know this product backwards and forwards, and that comes out in conversations, it's going to lead to a lot of product sales. There are 3 videos on my YouTube channel: Living Benefits Basic, minute 38. Tax exempt financial security asset, 3 minutes and 57 seconds. And Living Benefits is the smartphone of life insurance, 2 minutes, 41 seconds. Very quick, to the point that you can learn from, as well as your potential clients can learn from, the massive benefits of this product. And also, new partners. Guys, we're not in an office. You have to stay connected. We have a Wednesday team meeting. We have Tuesday, Saturday company meetings. You want to devote at least 15 hours a week of activity, not meetings, but actual activity if you're on a part-time basis. Take ownership through accountability. Join the team Facebook group if you're on social media. All of this provides a connection. And when you're more connected to the company, the business, your partners, you'll find it easier to reach out for help, not feel so disconnected, and actually stick with this. I'll leave you guys with this. So why? Why not? Why not you? Why not now? I don't need additional capital from you. I don't need additional infrastructure from you. I need a couple of core ingredients to a successful recipe that I can help you with build this business out. So when you're always thinking out there about, you know, the possibilities on the negative side that can happen, you want to switch that over. Think about the positive things that can happen, because when you flip your mentality, your mindset from a negative mentality to a positive mentality, things open up. The world opens up. Laws of attraction will start to open up. So why not you, and why not now? So guys, there's about 2 minutes left. Really quick, let me show you 2 things right here. On your Facebook group, on your Facebook page, when you are at your home page under Explore, Groups right here, because sometimes they ask admin questions. You don't know if you're approved for the group or not. So it's got your favorite groups, and all of your groups are listed down here. So you can go through and make sure if there's a group you don't want to be a part of, you can exit out. If you missed a group that actually accepted you, you'll find it right here. And then the last thing I'll show you guys before I grab Alana to close this down is that your groups on LinkedIn will be over here. Rubik's Cube, whatever you guys want to call it. Click on that, and then second row, first one is groups. And that will tell you exactly what groups that you're already a member of. And once again, if you want to go through here and clean this up a little bit, by all means, you can do that. Once you've got your groups, use that calendar. It becomes a lot easier for you guys to do the day-to-day activity, because without that calendar, you know, what am I posting? What groups do I want to post to? The next thing you know, you spent 30, 45 minutes posting a meme or an article. That's just the activity. The real heart of social media, like we talk about, is the engagement. So make sure you guys understand anything you can do to cheat the day, cheat time, be more effective, by all means, you want to take advantage of that. You guys want to talk about anything now? Great. You need help? Best way, like I said, is the calendar.
Wow, another great training by Mike Amos. You know, I get to watch him behind the scenes actually working on these trainings for a few days before the Wednesday meetings, and I really do get a ton out of it. I think that what Mike should do is on that slide that he has about how to make $1 million, he should add some of the override ideas that Tom Matthews showed on the $1 million and override slide by building out 10 direct legs. So really, really great stuff. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the recording and open up the floor to allow anybody to have questions, comments, anything that they want to share. That's what this team is for.